I just want to mention that in the last 2 years I've gained 30 out of the 60 pounds Amy lost. Not nearly enough random blowjobs. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Admission fee is $6 here on Wednesdays. For that, we've got a fantastic host, 7 comics, and an incredible headliner coming up later. I did a statistical analysis, and you've each paid 42 cents to watch me. If at the end of my performance even one of you thinks I didn't provide good value, I'm gonna slit my fucking wrist. Oh yeah, baby, it's a Bic for sensitive wrists. I actually feel very bad for Michael Phelps. I do. In my opinion, the only thing he was guilty of was being too wasted to tell his buddy to stop taking pictures. And we've all been there. Hey, Michael, spark it up and say Facebook. And I'm sure we all heard about the world record he broke on that infamous night. 13 bong hits in 55 seconds. Yeah, and with the lung capacity that dude has, apparently he just edged out a Russian partier who was on steroids. I remember during the Olympics I was watching and they did this feature. They said that he swims 6 hours every day, and because of that, he consumes 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day. I say bullshit, it's the munchies. A few people can relate. Partying on a Wednesday. It looks, guys, like this long winter that we've been having is finally about to come to an end. Yeah, soon enough we can stop bitching how cold it is and start bitching how hot it is. Bitches that we are, right? Yeah. Want to tell you guys a little bit about me? Thank you. Want to tell you guys a little bit about me. I was actually born and raised here in this great city of Toronto. About 13 years ago, I actually moved west to Calgary, Alberta. And then about a year ago, I moved again and I moved to Montreal. 3 months ago, I moved again and I moved back here to Toronto, where it all began. 3 provinces I've lived in the last 11 months. Half the time I don't even know if I'm coming or going. Well, that's not entirely true, the odd time that I've been coming. Very rare indeed, but I know. But I love my time in Calgary. Said I was there for about 12 years. And Calgary's awesome, it's beautiful. It's part of the Wild West. And there were a couple times I was actually driving. I came to a stop sign, and these cute little animals came right up to the driver's side of the window. Face flush against the window, begging. They had something very similar in downtown Montreal, but they called them squeegee people. Yeah, then one night I was sitting in Calgary and I met a woman on the internet and she lived in Montreal. Didn't know what to do. We had a 6-month long distance relationship, and finally I decided to move to Montreal and live with her and her 2 teenagers and her 3 dogs. Bird, and a smelly little rabbit. I remember I was in Montreal for a couple days and I was at a comedy club and I was talking to another comedian and I told him I just moved to Montreal from Calgary. He looked at me and he said, "You mean to tell me you moved from oil-rich Alberta to Montreal?" He says, "Was it for work?" I said, "No." He said, "Do you speak French?" I said, "No, I speak kind of a redneck English. And I generally wear a cowboy hat." He said, "Weren't you thinking?" And I said to him, "Well, I thought I was thinking." But I guess that's why they call pot mind altering. Just when you think you're thinking. Anyways, I hated my time in Montreal. The toughest adjustment was the language barrier. Didn't speak French, not a word. When I first moved out there, we went to a Tim Hortons one night and I wanted to learn some French. So I looked at the English side of the menu and asked the employee what the French translation was for croissant. Yeah, my girlfriend got a little frustrated with me, and one night she decided she was going to teach me some French. So we were lying in bed naked one night, and she looked at me and she said, "Danny, your penis is petite." She was a sweetheart. I loved her for trying to teach me the language. But then I was really confused. When I went to sleep, I didn't know if petite meant long or thick. And it was after that night that I decided I better learn a little bit of French, and I actually went for 25 hours of French lessons. Torture, 25 hours. After completion, my tutor looked at me and said, "Danny, congratulations, you've completed level 1. I said, "Merci." I asked her what the equivalent, the grade equivalent to level 1 was. And she said, "You've got the equivalency of a 3rd grader. A dumb 3rd grader." I looked at her and I said, "You know what? Let's keep going, because I aspire to be smarter than a 5th grader." You guys have been awesome. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'm Danny.
Danny Friedman, beginning for Danny.